Morning, everybody. It's a chilly Dallas morning. And I am feeling all weird because I have a turtleneck on and I don't do turtlenecks, so I might change clothes after this live stream because I'm already feeling constrained in my turtleneck thing going on here. It's like, I love the color, love the feel. Hate the turtleneck. Oh well. Maybe I just need to breathe into the contained space for today. I don't know. I don't know why I was drawn to the turtleneck, but I was. Hey, morning, Patrick. Morning, Addison. I've been actually up for quite some time and just kind of pausing on the world and thinking about the stories that I had privilege of hearing yesterday and the connections and the vulnerable shares and everything. And the three words that came up numerous times yesterday, either in my chit chats with clients here on Facebook, or in group activities, or on my one-on-ones with my private clients, was vulnerability, expansion, connection. And I sat here for a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to talk about around vulnerability, expansion, and connection? Like, I don't know. But welcome to Conscious Coffee, right? As you guys know, I just kind of roll with it. I don't walk into these live streams with any game plan. It's just like, we will see what comes through the vessel. What does spirit have to say? And this morning I was just like, oh my God, like, I just don't quite know exactly what I'm going to be saying to you. So we'll see. So I think that where I'm at on this topic and what I was blessed with witnessing yesterday was that we all want connection. At the core of our being, we want connection. We title it so many things, right? We say we want more sex, we want better sex, we want sex. We say that we want to be loved, that we want to fall in love, that we want to find our soulmate, that we want that relationship. We say that we want financial rewards and abundance so that we can do this, right? We say all this different stuff. And at the end of it, what are we actually leaning into? We are actually leaning into and wanting connection. Everything that we do because we are looking for the emotion of happiness. We are looking to become happy, to feel fulfilled, to feel complete. And one of the key components to happiness and that feeling of fulfillment is connection. And we live in a world that is disconnected more so than, it's just like it just keeps getting worse as far as physical, emotional, mental disconnected to the people that we connect with every single day. We're not allowing ourselves to be seen. We text the person sitting right next to us. We focus more in on the little screen and on this and that than on the relationships that we have. Yet we're all so hungry for relationship. We live, I live in a neighborhood where, the houses are pretty much right next to each other. Yeah, my neighborhood was built back in mid-90s. And so the houses have a little bit more distance to them than houses of 2015 moving forward, or even 2000 in the 2000s at any point, right? The houses have just consistently gotten closer and closer, and there's just not very much grass or space between houses. You can hear your neighbor's toilet flush. So you can hear your neighbor's toilet flush, but you don't know who your neighbors are. And we live in this, where garage door open, garage door shut. And I have been preaching this one for years. I remember when I first started on my tantric path, over a decade ago as a practitioner, educator, coach. And I remember talking about, it's exactly how we live. Like, one of the biggest challenges that we have in human living standards today is that we don't know our neighbors. We don't know the village that we live in. It is garage door open, garage door shut. We can hear the toilet flush. We can hear the rustle of something next door, but we don't even know who the people are. It's because we're disconnected. It's because we're insecure. It's because we're so terrified of being vulnerable even in any fashion, of just having a friendly neighbor conversation. You know, the good old shows of, remember Home Improvement? I'm going to show my age here, but do you remember Home Improvement, where, I don't remember what his name is. I think his name is Tim or whatever. The main character on there, you know, the tool time girl was running around in her little sexy stuff, and there was, you know, the neighbor next door that we never actually saw his face. We only saw this much of him, but he would always peek up over the fence line, and there was these conversations, and some very interesting conversations occurred in that show between neighbors. There was still a connection. There was still a vulnerability. There was still a knowing each other. Even though you never saw him, you still saw him, right? There was still something going on. He would always have these words of wisdom or funny things to say that made you go, oh, okay. We don't do that today. There is no such thing. If I delivered mail to my next door neighbors, one neighbor is my daughter, so that's a connected, great relationship. You know, we see each other every single day. Very, very connected. The other side is a beautiful couple that lives on the other side of me. And I have tried numerous times to connect with them in different ways, to have just little conversations. I mean, he rides his bike, I'll be outside doing something, you know, like that. And I actually took some mail over a couple days ago, and it was just this very cold, very shut off, like, oh, thank you. What was my mail doing again in your mailbox? I'm like, I'm not the mailman. I don't know. Like, I'm just delivering you your mail. I hope you're having a great week. And even though they're the sweetest of people, from what I can tell, they have nothing bad to report, it's just that there's this disconnect. There's this wall of, whoa, you're my neighbor. You need to stay on the right side of the fence line here. You need to not, like, this is mine and this is yours, and we don't cross. We don't cross. This is how we live. We do this in our workspaces. We do this with our friendships. We do this in our bedrooms with our lovers. But we want connection. What does it require to gain connection? In order to truly connect, one must be willing to see and to be seen. One must be willing to feel and to feel. Which means that when we do this disconnection game of that's your side of the fence and this is my side of the fence, we eliminate the possibility for connection, because now we're not willing to see or to feel or to hear, truly get in there and to do that with ourselves or with another. Ooh, breakfast delivery. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Scrambled eggs and avocado toast from my beloved 14-year-old son. He's taking care of his mom on a busy day, and the dog is going to try to steal him. No. So I'm going to eat while talking to you guys just a little bit. No. So in order to gain this connection, look at this. This is like my talking stick now. It's my fork. It's like, listen to me. I have a fork. No, just kidding. No, actually, no, I'm not. Listen to me. I have a fork. I'll fork you. Oh, just kidding. So in order to have that connection, what is it? What does that require? Outside of what does to be seen, to see, to feel, to be felt really mean? It means that we must be able to step into vulnerability. Okay, we must be able to step into vulnerability. And to be able to step into vulnerability yes, vulnerability is a relatively larger scale word. It's one that's, just rattles our cages. It's a little scary, that word is. Like, whoo, that feels like I'm being weak. That feels like I'm opening up the gateway to something dangerous. That feels, edgy. And I don't know, the last time I was vulnerable, I got hurt. So my life has taught me that vulnerability is not a great thing, because I get hurt when I'm vulnerable. When in truth, in order to really have the turned on, dynamic, deep relationships, authentic relationships that our souls crave, that our true being craves, we must be willing to venture into the land of vulnerability, which is far bigger than the word itself. Vulnerability comes in so many different fashions. It is just, it's so massive. It is an expansion word. To become vulnerable means that we must expand ourselves Here comes the expansion. We must expand ourselves to really feel, to really be with self first, but to then allow ourselves to be seen. That is an expansion thing. There's no more containers, okay? These fence lines that we have ourselves in all of our relationships, those we have to like at least make them smaller. No more 6-7 foot fence lines, maybe like the 3 foot picket fence so we can see through it and it's easier to get over. Okay, that's like a step into vulnerability in itself, to not just block ourselves off, to not do open garage door shut stuff with everybody in our life, but to actually bring ourselves into this space of expansion, to be seen, to be felt, to be heard, to receive, and to not take everything so literal and so personal, and just like this, the level of defense that the majority of people are on in our world today is just, it's impressive. It's impressive. Not in a good way, but it is impressive. It's immense is what it is. It's absolutely immense. We quickly assume that everybody's out to get us. We quickly assume that, oh, that was an offensive statement. Why did you say that? Why are you looking at me like that? A total random stranger can look at us some way, not even be actually seeing us, thinking about something in their own head, because that's what they're doing, right? They're thinking about something in their own head, and they're off in their land, concerned about their business, and they're just kind of like staring off in a daze. And we look at them and we're like, why is that person looking at me like that? Like, I can't believe that somebody's just saying, like, that's so just, oh my gosh, that's rude to just sit there and stare at somebody. Like, what is, and we go into this mode of self-centeredness, believing that everybody around us is thinking about us, doing things to us, trying to cause reactions from us. And this is us on the defense. These are these fences. If we actually allowed the fences to come down and allowed ourselves to be seen and allowed ourselves to see the world around us, the people around us, we would not be on the offensive line like that. It just would not be, why did you look at me? Why did you say that? Why did you use that word? Why did you wear that? Like, don't you know that I don't like that color? Don't you know that I don't like, shirts that reveal shoulders? I don't like the blue in your hair. That's offensive that you have blue in your hair. I mean, seriously, we have this desire to try to control everything around us, but we don't want to connect to it. We think that it's there to get us. We're living in this land of blame and consistent victim mentality. And that's what the fences around our lives have done for us. They've created a victim mindset. And we're scared to death of being vulnerable. We're scared of that because it makes us feel weak. So we armor up by creating a strong barrier. Except we do this everywhere. We do it everywhere. And if we are to become our highest, bestest self, if we really say, I desire happiness, I desire joy, I desire to really be love and open up to love, to have this turn on happy relationship with all the people in my life, if I really truly desire that, then that means what? I need to actually connect. But how do we connect with a fence? We don't. It requires us to break down our fences and to expand out past our typical borders, those boundaries that make us feel like we're safe, but actually have us dying. They're smothering us. They're killing us. And it's because we're not actually feeling. I ask you today, after I take a bite of my eggs before they turn cold. He cooked them in coconut oil. He's good. Coconut oil, a little bit of Himalayan sea salt. Good eggs. And the quality eggs matter a lot. I ask you today to look at your life and ask yourself, how can I bring my fence line in my relationships down? Where do I have my fence line set really, really high? Like, where do I have it set really high? Is it with my partner? Is it with my children? Is it with my friends? Is it with my family? Is it with colleagues at work? Is it with my actual neighbors? Where am I scared to let myself be seen? And how is that serving me? And that's really truly the question that I want you to ask yourself. If you walk away from this with nothing else, I want you to write down the question. Where am I scared to let myself truly be seen? And how is that serving me? Okay, how is that serving me? Because you need to get right with why you have yourself fenced in first. Okay, until you see the reasons why you're fencing yourself in, you can never break down the barriers. You have to first of all go, okay, this is why I'm doing it, because of this. I'm not going to give you the answers, although most of the answers, I assure you, will be the same. I'm not going to ask you to post it on here either. But if you care to share, feel free to private message me on this one. If you really truly look at this and you really allow yourself to go to the deep level of why you've got yourself blocked off, the next question is, how this is how it's serving me. Well, it's serving me by, boom. Does that make you happy? Does that make you happy? And you know what? It probably doesn't. It probably doesn't. It probably doesn't make you happy at all. It probably has you feeling alone and lonely. It probably has you feeling unsupported, lost, insecure, overly critical, judgmental, shame. All of these things. Unlovable, not worthy of connection, not worthy of love. And all you have to do is bring the wall down. You don't have to destroy it, although ideally that's what you need to go for, or at least to bring it down just a little bit. That's the key point here. Can you bring your fence line down over the next week, just a hair, so you can actually see maybe the hedges in your neighbor's yard, just a little bit, where you can actually experience a little bit of other people and allow yourself to be seen? Just a hair. Just a hair. And once you do that, I want you to ask yourself, what's one practice? What's one practice that I can start doing today? Simple little thing to connect a little bit more with the people in my life, to be seen a little bit more with the people in my life. I always tell people, eye gazing is one of the easiest, quickest, simplest things to do here, is to just make eye contact, because we live in a world where everybody's looking down, or we're overboard eye contact because we're trying to prove our confidence. So we're like doing staring contests with people, and that's not natural. That's not doing anything either for us, right? That just shows more insecurity, a bunch of ego and everything. But the looking down is also, I'm in victim mode. Don't hurt me, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. Just let me get through this. No, open yourself up. Like, let me move the hair. Open yourself up. Open this part of your body up. Instead of walking like this and completely harnessing all this beautiful energy of your heart space that you're trying to protect, but this right here is also shutting it down. It's preventing you from your beauty, your light, your strength, confidence, loving yourself. A person who loves themselves doesn't have a problem with being open in this area, because they know that they got their own back, because they love themselves, because they're doing things to move this energy and to be seen. One of the most loving things that you can do is to allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be witnessed, allow yourself to feel life, instead of to hold and compress yourself in this way, so you are guarding yourself from everything. Take the guard dogs and put them out back for a little bit. Just practice posture. Just practice posture. Bring yourself, if you're typically walking, looking down, or with your shoulders and go more concave in your chest, I want you just to stand up just a little bit. I want you to breathe deep into your body. Instead of with just the shoulders, I want you to actually breathe down into the stomach. Okay, just breathe. Soften your breath. Slow down your breath. If you feel anxiety, slow your breath down. Become present in here. And then just practice a little bit, just a little bit. We're talking just a subtle, just to that point of like, whoo, that was a little uncomfortable. Eye contact. Not a staring contest, just eye contact. Just left eye to left eye, or just both eyes. both eyes. Try smiling at somebody while making eye contact with them. This is vulnerability. This is expansion. This is connection. And you have to listen to me because I have a fork. So I'm the all-knowing fork master, right? No. But I do know connection. I do know intimacy. I do know the ailments of that insecurity. I used to walk pigeon-toed. My toes turned inward, slumped over, looking at the ground, terrified to make eye contact with the majority of people. Chest completely concave. And I hated my body. And I was terrified to talk to people. And I was just terrified of all these things. I felt this small. I felt unseen. I felt unworthy. And it took me focusing in on one thing at a time. And I started with my feet. I started with really focusing in on moving my feet into a healthy walking stance, not walking pigeon-toed. I practiced really moving my feet into a confident fashion and walking that way. And then I lifted myself up. I just started with just walking straighter, walking more confident, allowing myself to relax, not to be all stiff. I practiced my breathing. I did these things one at a time. And then I stepped into eye contact. And then I stepped into smiling. And over the course of time, I developed a confident person. I developed somebody who's comfortable in her own skin, who can now sit on a live stream no matter what time of day, no matter what's going on, whatever the interruptions, and talk about anything openly and connect to people openly. And people consistently come to me and say, I don't feel judgment from you. I feel supported by you. I feel loved by you. I feel like you're holding space for me. I feel like I really see you. You tell your story so much with ease. None of that would be possible without me focusing in on just those stupid ass pigeon toes that had me shut down because I felt safe in that. I felt like I was protecting myself. Dog with Peace Blossom. I felt safe. I felt like I was protecting myself. I felt like that was the requirement for me to survive. And I realized that that's all I was doing was surviving. That's it. I was just surviving. I was not living. I was not experiencing. I was not connecting. I was never going to experience depth. I was never going to experience connection or love. None of that because I was just surviving. I was just getting little breaths of air here and there. Just enough to survive. And that was it. So go forward with the confidence of knowing that it's the little things, those little things that make such big moments, big movement in your life. Find where your pigeon toes are at and just work on that. Just work on that. On that note, what is today? Today is the 21st, isn't it? Oh my God, Christmas is right around the corner, everybody. So I have, here's my little spiel. I have my bundles on sale, 80% off. My fucking amazing, awesome goddess bundle with 8 home study programs, 80% off. This bundle is typically, if you buy them separately, it's $1,800 for all the programs that are in there. And I'm selling this at 80% off. So it's $197 until December 26th. I've got the Be the Fucking Man bundle for 2020. That's 8 programs for you men. And the Goddess bundle is all about women taking, becoming orgasmic, taking empowerment, really truly understanding their worth, stepping into that goddess, turned on goddess state. Okay, so it's some deep dive work, some beautiful work, learning all aspects of self. Men, this bundle is really focused on understanding women, learning tantric practices, learning about your stamina, talking about your primal power, really leaning into that divine masculine, your powerhouse. What is your confidence? What does your confidence look like? What does your divine masculine look like? What is that about? How do you become more present? How do you balance work and life and women and sex and all this different stuff? All of that's in the programs for the Be the Man bundle of 2020. And then I've got the bundle for all of the entrepreneurs, which there's 5 study courses in there. And this is basically whether you have a business and you're like, how the hell do I do business in today's world? How do I expand my business? I really, like my business is cool, but I really don't feel like it's really coming from my heart space. Like it's not soul driven. And I want this thing called soul driven business. How do I access that? I don't know what to charge. I don't know this. I don't know that. All of that stuff. Well, this is for all you entrepreneurs out there. How do you take your business from wherever you're at? One program is called Ass in a Zan. Like, how do you have that fuck yes lifestyle and still make a good 6-figure income? So while I was in Jamaica a couple years ago, I created a whole course down in Jamaica called Ass in a Zan, where I taught about how you, as an online entrepreneur or in your coaching field or in anything that you're doing, how you can go from 0 to 100K a year or more by living your life, by letting your heart and soul be seen, by being in alignment. And there's a whole bunch of other courses in there too. I mean, like everywhere from time management and different things that I do consistently that I have learned over the last 20 years of being an entrepreneur, the little hiccups. So this is like me condensing it all and giving you the version so that you can just go out there and you can like make 2020 fucking amazing, right? Make 2020 fucking amazing. So click on the link in the comment section, grab this, because on the 26th, it is all gone. Everything goes back to its regular price. So then if you want to buy all the bundles, you can pay anywhere from $1,300 to $1,800 for them. I thank you for the extra money on that. But my gift to everybody is 80% off. So all the bundles are $197 for those 3 bundle packs. Make sure you take advantage of it. Click on that before it's too late. Of course, if you're ever interested in one-on-one, message me. Popping me a message in the comments, text, email, private message, I don't care, reach out to me. I only have 2 spots available for that going into the new year, so maybe it's for you, maybe it isn't. Reach out, we can talk about that today. And then remember, don't do the existing thing, do the living thing. That's why my tagline is stop existing, start living, because at the end of the day, what is a fuck yes life all about? It's about living. It's about the living portion. So stop existing, start living. You're worthy of a fuck yes life. You're worthy of connection. You're worthy of being seen and to feel and to be felt and to have beautiful energy around you and to experience this thing called your life. You're worthy of it, but you've got to be willing to be vulnerable enough to receive it, and to expand into the beautiful, beautiful version of you that is your authentic self. I love you guys. Stop existing, start living. I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. I'm going to go eat my eggs now that they're cold, enjoy my avocado bread, and go do some amazing appointments with some beautiful, beautiful peeps of mine. I love you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow.